Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Rich here, and today I just want to talk about Destiny 2 a little bit. I recently just got back into the game after shit, I don't even remember. I left the first season in year one. I played a shitload though before I left, but the game wasn't in its best state. They were making a lot of mistakes, and it was kind of boring at the time, but I'm a huge Destiny fan. I don't know if you guys remember, if anybody here is still there from these days when we used to do trials carries in the original Destiny. I'm a super big Destiny fan. I love Destiny. All right, so I've been trying to get back to the game many a times, but every time I would load in, I just felt overwhelmed and like I just didn't feel motivated to play the game. So recently they split from Activision. I tried to get it back in it when they did that. Couldn't really do it. So they announced the Shadowkeep DLC, and I was like, fuck, I don't want Shadowkeep to come out and I'd be super far behind. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna give it a shot, and that's what I did. So this is my experience, guys. A couple things I feel like need to change, and I'm just gonna let you guys know what I personally think, if it's worth it for you guys to get back into it or not, or you can just listen to what I say, see if maybe the cons and pros, like, weigh them out for yourself and see if they're what you were looking for in the game or what before you invest money into this game, because it is really expensive to play it again. I know I spent $40 for the old Forsaken DLC, and I already owned the game, but it forced me to purchase it again. So I spent $40 for that, and then on top of that, I bought two more character boosters because I have to have my three characters. It's stupid, but anyway, overall I spent like 100 and some bucks to get back into the game. So it's not something you'd have to do. You'd probably, if you don't own the DLCs, probably have to spend $40 on Forsaken, honestly. And it's like, if you're not new to the game and just barely purchasing the game, it's a waste of money. But whatever, Destiny's always been an expensive game, so if that's something you can jump over, then the rest of this video is for you. So first things first, when I first loaded in, guys, I was overwhelmed with how much content that there was. Like, there was so many markers on the screen, and they're telling me to do so much shit that I was honestly overwhelmed. It was just too much shit. But luckily, I did have a friend that has been playing the game consistently for a while now, so he was able to tell me a lot of stuff to do and help me out down the way. And that's one thing I want to let you guys know, that if you're barely getting back into Destiny, or if you're barely getting into it for the first time, you kind of need a guide or somebody to help you out. I mean, there's plenty of YouTube videos to help you out, but a lot of them aren't going to be what you're looking for. You need a guide, guys, to tell you what to do and what shortcuts to take here, and just to help you through a lot of the content. Because honestly, if you were doing it by yourself, running the whole Forsaken campaign and leveling up, and you're going to make a lot of mistakes, because there's a lot of shortcuts that you can take that will help you out significantly. Not having someone there to tell you about that stuff is going to hurt you. So just make sure you guys have someone to help you. If you need, and if you have any questions, you could hit me up. I'll help you guys out. I play on PlayStation, so if you're not on PlayStation, we can just message about it or whatever. Yeah, guys, so that's my experience. When I first got back into it, I was overwhelmed, but having someone help me drastically improved the experience. I mean, drastically. The first few times I tried, I couldn't do it by myself. So, yeah, guys, just make sure you have somebody. Next thing I want to discuss is the pros, and then I'm going to discuss the cons of getting back into the game and what the game has to offer right now. And that'll pretty much sum up the whole video, guys. Just the pros and the cons and whatnot. So, first things first, the pros. There is a lot of shit to do in this game, guys. There's a lot of different raids. There's a lot of content. There's PvP. There's, PvE. You got the Menagerie. You got Gambit. You got all the raids. You got strikes. There is a lot to do with this game. And honestly, if you're getting bored, I don't know, guys. I don't see how you can get bored. Like, there's so much stuff to do. And if you're not 750, that's a whole nother game in itself. Like, getting to 750, there's a lot of content, guys, and that's one of the pros. I think that's like the strongest thing going for Destiny, is the content and how you approach that content. Like, you have super abilities and you have all these fun ways to approach all this content. And one thing I did notice about the recent content that I've played versus previous Destiny experiences that I've had, is they're letting you use your supers and your heavies a lot more. So they're really fulfilling like a power fantasy, and that's like one of the big pros that I've noticed coming back. So yeah, a lot of content, guys, a lot of stuff to do. You won't get bored. There's just plenty of content. You're missed out on a lot. If you're barely getting into the game right now, if you quit in year one like me, whatever, there is a shitload of content. All right. So the next pro about Destiny is probably a surprise to nobody. You know, the game feels smooth and fluid as shit when you play it. The weapon sounds, the like it feels amazing to play this game. You know, running around killing enemies, meleeing enemies, supering enemies, all that stuff is just fun. Like it's fun to play the game itself, you know. And I think that's another strong point Destiny has going, but it's really no surprise to anybody. Everyone really knew that mechanics in Destiny were sound. Like, it never really had mechanics problems. And that's a really, really strong point for it. Another positive point that I would like to mention is there's a lot of PvP content now, guys. There's weapons that you can only get by being good in PvP. There's a lot of PvP stuff. There's a weapon called the Not Forgotten that you have to be super good to get, pretty much. Like, you have to be that guy in PvP. And I feel like before that was never a thing. Like, it was always catered to the PvE guys. But if you're just like a PvP player strictly, like, I play both. I love PvP, I love PvE. I'm good at both. So, you know, I never really was one of those people that was like picked one and just wanted to play that. But I know there's many of people out there, guys, lots of people. And if you're one of those guys, I think you will be happy. We're gonna go over PvP more in the negative stuffs because there's a couple things I want to address and I want to let you guys know about that. But for now, I just want to let you guys know that there is PvP content and there is a lot of like missions and, you know, quests for you to fulfill in PvP, and a lot of the strongest guns in the game right now come from PvP. So like that's a positive thing for them, and I think if you're a PvP player, you'll really enjoy it. Another thing I want to mention about the positive is going to be how many exotic quests there are, you know, quests to get certain things. Everything isn't just tied behind random drops. Like, you have some guaranteed ways to get a lot of things, like the pinnacle weapons. That was never a thing, but now you have a guaranteed way to get a strong gun that's already masterworked, and that's a pretty cool thing too. And I think a lot of people that came from back in Destiny 1 and, you know, early Destiny, when you couldn't really get weapons and stuff that you wanted, the good stuff, but a lot of these pinnacle weapons are some of the best weapons in the game. So like, you have a guaranteed way to go get it. You just have to grind for it. And I think a lot of people will appreciate that now. And the last positive thing I wanted to bring to your guys' attention is going to be the leveling in Destiny now. I feel like it's really in a good state. It needs some work, and we'll discuss that more in the negatives, but I feel like it's in a really good state. So basically, the way it works now is there's certain activities. There's plenty of them. There's like 50 activities or so that give you powerful gear. So there's powerful gear, and basically powerful gear boosts your light level higher than it currently is, and then regular legendary drops will drop at your level. So if you have a 740 character and you're trying to get to 750 in a week, that is completely doable now. Like, it's not just random. There's ways to even guarantee some of your drops as far as menagerie and things like that go. And I think the leveling system, for me to level from 0 or whatever they started me at, 300 or some shit, to 750, it was a breeze. Like, it was the easiest it's ever been for me. And I did run across a lot of glitches along the way. One of my characters, not all the 690 gear dropped. There was a couple of glitches, guys, that I want to tell you guys more about in the negatives. But as far as the leveling goes, I think they're on the right path, and it's a really smooth and just easy experience, and I think you guys will enjoy it. Alright, guys, so now we got to get into the negative part of the video. You know, there's always negatives, and I'm sorry that if I touch on some things that you actually like enjoy, or like you don't feel that that's negative. And I'm sorry if you just love everything about Destiny and, you know, you just don't agree with anything I'm about to say. But if you do, that's fine. Like, you just drop a dislike on the video. It's okay for people to have different opinions, and that's just fine. Whenever you talk about something negative in a game, it's bad. Especially when, like, people are passionate about Destiny. People love this game, and I understand. You know, people have different perspectives, guys. So it's okay if you guys dislike what I say, but let's get straight into it. So the first negative thing I want to talk about, guys, and it might just be me, but I just feel like some of the enemies have some really annoying mechanics to them, and it kind of just takes you out of that, oh, I'm so powerful, or oh, it just breaks the immersion of the game. Like, for example, a lot of the enemies have stomp abilities, but some of these stomp abilities will knock you into a fucking wall and send you into a new dimension, and you're instantly dead because an enemy stomped on the floor and blew you away. But like, you're supposed to be the strong ass guardian, and you can't even survive a fucking fall, a gust of wind. Like, that really bothers me, and I know that it won't bother everyone. There's a lot of ways around it. You can melee, you know, you can. There's ways around it. I know, but it's just that really bothers me. Like, and that's just not the only mechanic that's annoying to me. The Taken, I think the captains, they throw like a blight at you, like a fucking black blight, and it blinds you, and it makes your screen sound all crazy, and it's just is annoying. Like, it's just not fun to fight against it. When you get hit with it, you instantly get irritated because 9 out of 10 you're getting shot at by other enemies, so now you can't see. All these enemies are shooting you, and this fucking big ass captain just blinded you. And it's kind of annoying, guys. There's a few mechanics in the game like that that kind of irritate me. I believe it's also a lot of it revolves around the Taken. You know, they teleport randomly, like just drastically, just move around. And the Taken have some really annoying mechanics to them. And for me, I just feel like it's kind of irritating. And it's not really a game. It's not a game breaker at all for me. Like, I've fought Taken since Destiny 1, and it's just like, it's just irritating. And that's just all I want to say about it. The next thing I want to talk about is basically, I know that they're already talking about, you know, they're going to be working on PvP, and they're looking at PvP, and PvP is going to be their focus when Shadowkeep comes. I know, okay, guys, but the current state of PvP right now, it's frustrating. Like, there's so much cheap bullshit in the game that, you know, players have every right to abuse, because that's the strongest shit. That's the meta. Why would you put yourself at a handicap if you don't have to? Why would you not use the Lord of Wolves when you can? Like, if you own it, why not use it? So, yeah, PvP right now, it's bad. You know, like, it is real bad, because like, people use the cheapest shit in the game, and you're just gonna be getting killed by it all day. And I'm mainly talking about competitive, guys. I'm not really talking about quick play, because people just fuck around in quick play. Nobody really cares about it. But in competitive, like, you will run into a lot of bullshit. You know, you'll run into Aaron Tills and fucking Lord of Wolves, and just people playing like as best as they can to be cheap and to get the most kills. And that's how you're supposed to play. There is nothing wrong with that at all. That's how you're supposed to play. But when you can die in like 0.1 second just because this person has a gun that for some reason right now can kill you in like 0.001 seconds, like, it just kind of breaks the fun of it. And I understand they're working on it. And I also understand that you're supposed to feel powerful in this game. But, you know, maybe a couple things need to get looked at soon. Real soon. So, yeah, PvP right now is kind of rough. And that's just the honest truth, guys. And that's how I feel about that. Alright, guys. And the last negative thing I want to touch on is probably going to be the loading screens. I play on PS4. I have a PS4 Pro. I have a PC, I just don't own Destiny on it. I'm waiting to see when the new expansion drops and the free one comes out. Well, my DLCs also carry over, so I don't play on PC yet, but I do plan on playing on PC. But right now I play on console, and man, the loading screens are bad on this game. Loading into missions. Luckily, there's not, like, once you're in a world, you're pretty much free to roam that world with no loading screens, you know? But loading in, when you first start up the game and you load into your characters, Jesus Christ, it takes like 5 minutes. And it's kind of annoying because sometimes you get booted out the game. You know, sometimes you go AFK and the game boots you out and it returns you to the title screen. You got to load in for 5 minutes or whatever the reason is. But when you close this application and you start it up, it takes so long to load in. Loading into your menus just to look at your gear, like your gear loads, and it's too much. I think the game is just adding too much content to the point where it's kind of making the loading screens last too long. And I'm talking about simple things like going into your pursuits tab. I feel like these things load too long. Going into your inventory, looking at a gear to see the perks on it. All this stuff, like, it just loads too long. It should just be snappy, like instantly. You click it and it's there, but you know, you gotta wait a few seconds to see it, and it's just kind of, you know, it's kind of annoying. Like, we're in a pretty good time for technology right now, so I feel like that this can be fixed. Maybe maybe load it in the background or something. I'm not a developer or nothing like that, but I feel like they can work around this and they will fix this a little better if we get enough people talking about it. Because everybody I play with feels the same way about this, but I don't see like YouTubers or people like that talking about it, and maybe that's why. So I don't know, but that's pretty much it for the negatives, guys. Overall, what I think about the game, I think it's a shitload of fun. I have been playing nothing but Destiny for these past few months. Well, it's been like a month and a half, and I've grinded to Fable to get the, what was it, the Recluse and the Luna's Howl and the Revoker sniper rifle. I'm working to competitive or to legend right now. I've done a few of the pinnacle weapons. I've almost done getting my loaded question. You know, it's fun. There's a lot of shit to do, guys. And if you're a Destiny fan or if you used to like the game, I think that you will actually really enjoy the game now. If you used to like it before and you come back, you know, maybe you quit in year 1. Maybe you never picked up Destiny 2. I think if you got the game right now, you would really enjoy it. If you're able to, you know, turn a blind eye to that price point, because that price point is bad. But other than that, guys, the game is fun. You know, it's a lot of fun. It has a couple things it needs to work on. Nothing too major to the point where it's like, oh, I don't want to fucking play this game. But, you know, there's a lot of things they can work on, and there's a lot of things they're doing right. And I think the things they're doing right, you know, for the current state of Destiny, how it was before, the things they're doing right overweigh the negative by a large margin, guys. And the game is very fun right now. And I suggest if you already own it to play it again. If not, maybe try picking it up. And that's pretty much it for me, guys. If you guys need anyone to play with, hit me up down in the comments. I play on PlayStation. You know, I'm down for any content. If you need help, whatever, just hit me up, guys. I understand that this game can be kind of rough by yourself. And if you need help, I'm here for you guys. And peace out. Thank you guys so much.